I got tired of being in a consulting company, and then I just started my own thing. And the first year was pretty rough because I was trying to start a consulting company.
Welcome to the Creative and Code podcast.
Welcome to the internet, my friend.
Brought to you by ID Digital Agency.
Kind of a big deal.
Dive into the dynamic world of digital marketing, creative design, and coding with top experts, latest trends, and actionable insights. Let's get inspired and innovate together.
It's showtime.
Welcome to Creative and Code.
And Code.
By ID Digital Agency. This is Emily, and I am Jay, and we are your co-hosts. Episode double digits.
10.
10. It's going to be a good one. We've got Ian, who is a
Solutions
developer.
architect.
Yeah, big solutions architect who consults out to big companies. He's going to be in a little bit later today. But let's, what's been happening? What's been going on, Emily? It's always crazy. I've got to talk into the mic because we've been told we don't talk into the mic enough, don't we?
Well, yes, we've had some feedback from the team. Thank you.
Yeah.
Last episode was fine. I don't know. It's been busy. I feel like when you have a long weekend, then you come back, you're like, I feel less relaxed than I did before the long weekend.
Did you squeeze much into your long weekend?
No.
Just chill?
Chilled, pretty much. I went to my mum's house. Shout out, Mum. She listens to the podcast.
Nice.
And I just hung out, just in regional Victoria, as one does.
Well, if you just need to get away and do nothing, that's the perfect place for it, isn't it?
It's more
Did your mum make a roast?
She didn't make a full roast, but she made me a roast pork roll, which is like...
It's not bad, like a bun me kind of thing.
Yeah, kind of, but just like with gravy and pork in bread, essentially.
Jeez, that sounds good.
Yeah, it was incredible. So thank you, Mum. Shout out. But I think it's just nice to have some time away from screens is mainly what I try and do when I'm in Traralgon, which is like my version of away from screens is just my phone screen, but it's just no computer screens, no TV screens. So that's what I try and do. What did you do on the long weekend?
I had a wedding. I went down to our client Peninsula Hot Springs and with some friends, and that was 6 hours.
Jeez.
I think we went through, there's 70 baths in the Mornington Peninsula Hot Springs, and I think we did about half of them, which isn't too bad.
Jeez, that's pretty good, honestly.
Yeah. Skipping and hopping and jumping around.
But you didn't watch the grand final?
No, that was on the, when was this? We had, the wedding was Thursday night, Peninsula on the Friday. Grand final was at our house.
Not watching the football.
No, 23 people at our place or something like that.
That's too many people.
Kids, parents, whatever. And then Sunday, another mad day. What did we do? I can't even remember.
Discount meat store.
Yeah, that was in there. I love the good discount meat store.
Yeah, it's classic.
25% off your normal supermarket. And it's better quality. And do you know when you cook mince and things, like all that water comes out of it? No water.
Yeah, well
it's not pumped full of just
It's just
weight.
supermarket, whatever. I mean, Aldi, I don't know the quality. I'm not like a meat connoisseur. I don't know the quality of things, but Aldi is
pretty
cheaper.
good.
Yeah.
Cheaper, and is it good stuff?
I mean,
it tastes
I don't
good?
know. I mean, it tastes fine, but I have low standards, as a lot of people know.
I'm pretty sure you raided the kitchen and brought in whatever you could for lunch one day last week.
Yeah.
You have to do that sometimes, don't you? Just
of course.
The perishables.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
But had some friends over on the Sunday, and I can't remember what I did in the morning, but it was chockers. I can't remember.
Busy.
But we're back.
Back to work.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn it. Yeah. But it's nice, to kind of get back, I feel like, into the swing of things a little bit. Like, I mean, we don't have, maybe half of our clients are actually in Victoria, right? I don't know, maybe more.
Well, yeah, funny you say that. We just got another client overseas. We've been working with Innovative Hiring in Dubai.
Yeah.
And now we're going to be working with United in their new exciting Sri Lankan Odyssey.
Yeah, Sri Lanka, yeah.
That
is pretty cool.
Yeah, there's 150 United locations, like petrol stations over there already. So there's a huge amount of work.
Is that your first 2 international clients ever, or have you had some in the past?
No, we've had some ones in the past. We had Visi Close Loop, which is quite international. Qantas, that was about 15 years ago. We did some systems for them.
15.
Yeah, long time ago. Yeah. Back when, how old were you? Yeah, you'd probably be in
a child.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anyway.
Well.
So it's been a good... So Monday came this week.
Like we're breaking it down day by day.
No, I'm just saying.
Monday.
Like,
how was the vibe?
You're about to start a week, and you're like, "Oh, what kind of week is this going to be?"
Well,
and I think every business owner thinks that they're like, You've thought about the week, you've thought about who's doing what and who you need to talk to and blah, 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 right? We got in, we got that United job, which is huge. We got Peninsula. And there was some other stuff that we got approved. Oh, we got a new one with Diggers Australia, which is really cool.
Diggers.
Big campaign. Can't say too much about it because there's NDAs and things, but it's going to be awesome. And yeah, looking forward to telling more about that probably in a month or so.
Nice.
Because you're on that, I'm on that, Cassie's on it. It's going to be fun. So yeah, feeling energized this week.
Nice. I mean, I couldn't tell by the way you're jumping out of your seat.
I know, you just got to roll with the punches sometimes as a business owner or founder. And
I mean, yeah, exactly.
yeah,
And I think
that happens with you too.
Well, yeah, it's every week's a bit roll with the punches. I mean, yeah, how many ad hoc tasks have I gotten already this week? And it's Wednesday.
Yeah, I've been handballing a fair bit too.
Yeah, so.
But then you've
what
been
can you
keeping
do?
up. I was going to say this off
Say it on the record.
on the record.
On the record. Thank
But
you.
no, like the reports that you've been doing for a couple of our clients even today, it's been great.
Yeah.
They've been really happy and thankful. And
Yeah, I fixed. I've mentioned in the Looker Studio episode we did about the social integrations could be a bit unreliable, but I've changed to it's called, I can't remember what it's called, but there's a different connector that I use to connect the social platforms, and that one is producing much more accurate data.
Perfect.
So I think there was a very popular connector that doesn't work very well. I hate to say it, but it doesn't work.
when you get into the bigger data,
So-
the higher volumes of traffic at every
Well, that's it. It
visit
starts to count. And I don't want to, especially like the whole point of making these Looker Studio reports is making my life easier. So if I have to manually check the data against the platform every month, it's wasting, there's no
And
point.
why have a report that's inaccurate?
Well, exactly, that's it. And like the other way you could do it was like some solutions were like, just pull the data into Google Sheet and then put that into Looker Studio, but then it doesn't update live.
it's a
So
manual
what's the
process.
entire point? Yeah. So anyway, I found a new connector that works. So now my Looker Studio is working and the clients can actually use it.
Happy days. Yeah, if you're interested in Looker
Yeah.
Studio, I think it was episode 4 or 5 that we've only done recently. Have a listen to that because I think every business that's got a Google Analytics account or doing ads or whatever should
That's
be.
the thing. You can use it for free. Like with the connectors for social platforms and things like that, you start to get into the cost. But yeah, completely free for your Google products. So would recommend.
Beautiful. All right, that's a bit about us. Let's get into the news.
Good news, everyone.
Uh-oh, I don't like the sound of that.
Got 2 news topics.
What are your news topics, Emily?
I went on to news.com/tech. So the height
Awesome
of journalistic
research.
integrity.
Yeah.
What I'm interested in is 23andMe, the genetic testing company.
No.
You haven't heard of this?
Oh, is this
it was
the
like
one
a
that,
few years ago.
is that the one where you send a blood test?
Yeah,
or
yeah,
something?
and they tell you you're 20% Neanderthal or whatever,
or
how do you say
African or
Neanderthal?
whatever.
That's not right. Neanderthal.
Yeah, that.
I'm losing it. Yeah, but it was like that test thing. A few years ago, really popular. A lot of people did it. They're currently going under, bankrupt. And a lot of the criticisms are like, well, when you have a product like that, how do you continue to provide value and actually keep the customers you've already got when there's literally they have nothing else to offer? That's it. They had this one thing.
One service, so it's you pay whatever it is and then you're gone.
Yeah,
and there's
that's
no
it.
reason
There's
why
no
you-
reason to engage. There's no
Again.
reason to open an email. It's like, what's the point?
So they probably had a
So-
big surge. All these
Yeah.
people wanted to know where they are.
Exactly.
Now they know.
Yep.
There's nothing
that's
else
it.
that they can offer.
So it's like a company like that, I feel like there must, you're forecasting in the future. How did no one think about this?
Exactly. Well, I mean,
Like-
why not connect with some of your ancestors or go deeper into the analytics?
Yeah. There must be
Analytics.
more they can figure out, or they at least should have thought about it prior to even launching the initial product. Not to say that microtransactions are a good thing, but they could have do your initial test and then come back for an additional test about all this other data. They could have split it up a bit more.
Yeah, exactly. Get some plans going.
Yeah. I
some
just feel like
packages.
it's really demonstrating with the way that this has kind of come about and it's gone under.
So it's not around anymore? It's
well, I
done?
think it's still available, but it's they got no money. I don't know if they've declared bankruptcy or whatever they're doing.
Imagine
but-
trying to get some investors on that saying, hey, we've got this great technology, but everyone's used it.
Yeah, exactly. That's it. I can't fathom why there was no forward planning with a business like this.
Innovate and die, which we said at the start.
Yeah, we did
isn't
say
it?
that. Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
You're like, oh, that's a bit brutal. It's like some
But,
businesses
yeah,
died now.
It doesn't even feel like they needed to innovate. They just needed to plan better is my thing. Where was the thought? Where was the strategy?
Yeah.
Just incredibly stupid. And I think it kind of highlights why you need to actually come to not to plug us, but like come to a digital agency and like get your strategy actually like planned out, because maybe that might be the difference between your business going under and
So
like
true,
not,
so true.
you
Because
know?
like, yeah, people come in sometimes for us and say, I just need a website. I want to make money. I want it to convert, and I've got
It's
these
like,
products.
well,
and you're like, yeah, but what's your story? The number one thing I think we've learned from a podcast is you need to tell a story.
Exactly.
You need to get the connection with your customers and for them to feel related and appropriate, and then they will go out with your story to other people and promote it as well.
Yeah.
And then, what's your plan? You're going to sell this, but then what are you going to do after it? You're going to have some automation. What about their
Exactly.
birthdays?
Yeah.
What about discounts? What about whatever? So...
How are you going to keep them coming?
And the more and more, obviously, the more it takes them time and effort and things like that. But if you don't have a plan, start with all the need to haves, and then you keep going and going once that works. And
Exactly.
continue on. So that's what we do.
Yeah.
So if you need some help,
come to us. Yeah. I mean, I'm also interested with 23andMe because obviously they have like a crazy amount of genetic data of people on file. Like that is crazy sensitive
I wonder
information.
if they got leaked or whatever.
Well, that's the thing.
Blood
And like
types
they had a like a data leak last year, but I don't know if it was genetic information. But if they get sold now, they are selling the genetic data. So like there's no way any existing customers are going to be happy with them about their genetic data being sold. So like now they can't even really retain those customers.
And I wonder
So
what
there's no way to win.
I wonder what the legal ramifications are if some business does go under and has all that data. What do they just, imagine if they just got that server or whatever it is and just threw it in the
Well,
trash,
that's the
someone
thing,
picked it up.
who knows? Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
There's a lot of interesting
Legalities.
elements there that, I think should have been so avoidable by them being better at what they did, but they didn't.
Could have done it. Should come to us.
Yeah.
What else have you
Anyway.
got?
Microsoft Copilot also just recently announced a slight change in their AI. I think it's in their upcoming kind of patch or whatever, that they're going to make their AI more empathetic and more supportive.
More emotional.
Yeah, like it's going to like help rather than just being like, I'm a robot, here's whatever you ask for. It's like,
So based
great
like it might be
job,
the way
like-
you're asking, hey, just take it easy. We're
Yeah.
going to get through this together.
Exactly. It's like that kind of vibe. I think they're
Right.
trying to like replicate kind of like, Clippy,
Yeah,
like the little,
yeah.
and he was like your friend. Like I think the AI is trying to be like more your friend, but like not, is this even friendly? This is like parent, like it's okay. Doing
It'd be
such a
really
good
cool if you
job.
could change its personality.
That would be cool. Yeah.
If you want it to be angry, if you want to have a fight.
I kind of
you know
like
what I mean?
that,
Like
yeah.
you've had a bad day and you just want to take it out on someone. Have a swearing competition or something and you feel better about yourself.
That's the thing.
Like
Maybe
that's why I think
it.
people used to like watching Jerry Springer and Maury Povich and what was that? There's another. Anyway, I think it's just because people want to feel better about themselves.
Well, that's it. Yeah.
And feel like someone's worse off than you are.
Well, exactly.
But if someone else is there to help you, that's another good thing.
Maybe that's it. They could have the co-pilot be, different personalities.
Yeah.
Surely the AI can understand how you're feeling. Like it could read your emails, see if you got a nasty email from someone, then it's like, I know what you need right now.
Yeah, rather than replying saying F you, let's tone it down and
like
let's get...
peps up and it's like, like take it easy. It's okay. They didn't mean it. Like,
I find that with a lot of companies. We work with Campaign Monitor, which used to be a Sydney-based business. They've gone to San Fran and now they're based, they've got US dollar currency or whatever.
Nice.
But every time I've written to them with support, I'm like, oh, this isn't working. Can you help? Right. And sometimes I'm a bit nicer than that, but they reply, we really value your feedback and I really
of
appreciate,
course.
here's how to do it. And it's all very...
It's all very fluffy and friendly.
I'm like, how is this? It's probably getting generated now, but this was 5 years ago. I'm like, I wonder if someone's actually writing out every single one of those little sentences to make you feel that you belong, that they value you, and I don't know.
I don't know, but certainly now Microsoft Copilot will be, generating that stuff and being your friend.
Yeah.
Do you think AI really needs to be like that though? I mean, as a human, you understand the concept of AI. It's a robot talking to me. I know it doesn't feel empathetic, so why is it acting empathetic? Like, at what point do you start to be like, you're just pretending users are dumber than they are? I know it's a robot. I don't need it to be nice to me. I'm nice to the robot because I'm afraid of the AI becoming sentient. But the other way around, I don't think so.
I think, you do. Like when you turn on your computer, you want your computer to run. You know how it runs. You know how it operates. You know when you open this, it's going to bounce until it opens. But if your AI starts to change and have this personality, no, I'm not going to help you on that. Like,
Exactly, yeah. What if it starts fighting back?
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's why I think we like computers, because they do what they're
I
told.
think it's predictable.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how it goes. Maybe if it'll have more of a negative effect than maybe they expected. Yeah, I'm not sure kind of how it's going to flow.
So Copilot's doing this. Copilot's Microsoft. Microsoft operates ChatGPT, so it's probably like a version of that. And then ChatGPT is going into Apple for their Apple Intelligence, which apparently is coming out in a month and a half or whatever.
Yeah, it's like with the new
I wonder if they'll have
iOS.
that personality or that kind of...
Yeah. Well, I feel like at
emotional.
least with Apple Intelligence, because it'll be integrated with Siri, and Siri already kind of has like a bit of personality, like not a lot, but like she's kind of like, I'm Apple, whatever. Like she's got more vibes than just
Yeah,
ChatGPT.
exactly. She doesn't like any of the other ones either.
Well, yeah, exactly. If you talk to her about like Alexa, she starts to be like, yeah, that's true.
And
yeah,
Siri
but
can be male, female. There's a whole bunch of different voices in there
That's
now.
the thing. I wonder if that's something that'll get into all of the general AIs.
I wonder if you'd like to have ChatGPT or any of the AIs respond to you with voice, your own voice.
No.
Imagine that being in your head.
No way.
Or someone that you could like, obviously at the moment you can speak for I think 60 seconds. There's a speech that you can do and then it can capture your voice and you can ask it to say anything in your voice, for instance.
I don't like that.
No.
Well, it's,
You can do that now with Waze apparently too. So
really?
Google Maps is... So Google runs Google Maps and Waze. They bought Waze quite a fair bit ago. But now you can have particular voice, you can upload a particular voice into it or character or tone or whatever, and it will tell you
See, I kind of like
your directions.
I don't know about my own voice, but for someone like I'd have someone like Gordon Ramsay. Like,
Yeah.
you're in the wrong
Or Chopper
lane.
Read
Like,
or
yeah,
something.
like that would be funny. But I don't know about its actual purpose in life beyond just like comedic value. You know, like
exactly.
It gets a bit scary. I mean, even with the ads, kind of you see some now where they're spoofing, like they have an image of Taylor Swift and they've spoofed her kind of to make her move, and then she's saying things. It doesn't match up with her mouth, but I guess if you're just scrolling,
You'd see it and go, huh?
yeah, like is Taylor Swift promoting this product? And it's getting quite like it's not that.
But Taylor
great
Swift
yet,
doesn't
but,
promote
like,
products, does she?
Well, no, this is the thing. It's all completely a scam, and like, but I guess if you're just on first glance and you're, the speed at which people swipe, and you're not really paying a lot of attention, it could get people. So it gets, a little bit dicey, I think, as soon as we start to do the spoofing.
Anything on Diddy lately?
On what?
Or should we keep that?
Diddy?
Diddy.
Oh, I mean, I don't know.
P. Diddy.
He's still in prison.
Yeah.
And there's
100 people now.
Yeah, there's more horrible things coming out. I feel like we don't need to have a week-by-week update on what's happening with Diddy's crimes.
But I'll just quickly tell you, my history, especially on the YouTube channel for this, being abandoned buildings, someone has gone through his mansion now and had a look at it, gone into underneath, had a look at the pool.
Isn't it like an active crime scene? How is that allowed?
I don't know. Someone's got in and I've seen the video, but the swimming pool, the indoor swimming pool, has little window holes. So people who are down there, they can watch underneath the water. It's a bit
don't
creepy.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay, well.
Anyway.
What's new? Diddy is creepy.
Yeah, Diddy creepy.
What a
All right.
shock.
Let's get on to our guest.
You have my curiosity. Now you have my attention.
This is our episode 10. So
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, I had
still.
just a couple of
Yeah.
ones.
Oh,
I
did
saw
you?
you were a sauna person as well.
Oh, yeah? We'll talk about
My
that.
sauna, yeah.
Yeah, I had some feedback on the mention of the sauna in the episode.
Oh, really?
Yeah, people thought that was a little bit TMI.
No. What?
Too much information.
What,
Okay.
because
Well,
you
at least
do
you
it
got
with
one
your
fan.
friends, or?
I don't know.
I think
That was the
like,
food.
saunas are great.
Okay, well,
let's
we've
start
got some
there
pro
anyway.
sauna fans.
So how often do you sauna?
I try to go like 2-3 times a week.
Really?
Nice.
MSAC.
Oh, MSAC.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's the closest to home.
Yep.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Well, anyway, this is Ian. Ian
Yeah.
is a solutions architect.
Yeah. Yeah.
So and you run your own business. So yeah, let's learn a little bit about you and what you do.
Yeah. So I work for myself now. It's been about 2 years. Before that, I was working in a consulting company, and I got tired of being in a consulting company, and then I just started my own thing. And the first year was pretty rough because I was trying to start a consulting company.
Yeah.
But didn't realize I was starting a consulting company.
And what was it about being a consultant in a consulting company that you didn't like?
It was the lack of control. A lot of decisions were made without my say, or at least having some sort of input in it. It was particularly like deadlines and commitments, and I got really frustrated with that.
So someone like a project manager or whatever was just like, yeah, we can achieve
Project
that. We'll have
manager,
that ready in 2 weeks, and do it in 2 weeks.
Or sales, promising something that we actually haven't even thought about how to build. And to me, like being an engineer, like well, being a developer, it's so important to like be talking to the people that you actually are working with to understand like what they actually want.
Yeah, so
because
true.
a lot of the time someone will come to you and say, I want this, but your job is to figure out what they actually need, not what they want, because it's always very different.
I find too, like when I used to be like that. I was that project manager that you would hate. And by the time it came to you, you probably had all these other ways or better ways of doing what they were trying to do or how to solve that problem.
Exactly.
And you didn't get the chance to do it. And I've had to learn to say, hey, here's what the client is, here's their problem, here's what they want.
Yep.
And you can raise your hand, or not raise your hand, but you can say, hey, here's a great thing, I've learned this in the past, or whatever it might be. We can apply this, and then you've got a solution that might be better, more cost effective, and take the time that they want. Or
Yeah, and it also like it keeps your developers happy, because if they are involved in the process, they enjoy, like they're more involved. They feel like they have control. They can help like make decisions, and they actually enjoy what they're working on. Like I found like some of the best times in my career, and kudos to the previous company that I was working for. Like they gave me many opportunities to go on site, and I actually like went and saw what they did, and like I spoke to like the people that I was building something for and saw what they did every day, and like just like embraced my curiosity, because I don't know what I'm doing as a developer without actually seeing how people use the systems and things like that. So like I think for me, I found that really valuable, and like now, like with what I try to do and like the people that I consult to and their teams, I try to help them embrace that with their developers and like let them have those opportunities to like go on site or at least learn a bit more about the business that they are working in and stuff like that, because I think it really makes a big difference.
Yeah, it is. It's absolutely massive. Even today, I've been to a lunch with a client that's a risk management association.
Yep.
And I had no idea how they run their conferences or who turns up or what their people are like, and it's just, half an hour to an hour. Opens up your mind and your ideas, and you're like, oh, we should do it this way, and we have this part that's not on the website, and you're like, yeah, you're right. So, yeah, I think it's really important that not just the project manager or the strategy person is involved in that. It really has to be the whole team. And even, like, it's going to take up time.
It takes up time and money, but I really think it, like, there's value in it. Yeah.
Totally. I find throughout these bigger projects that if you spend that time up front with the right people doing that, then it's going to save all the time of, this was meant to do this, or, this isn't what I asked for.
Yeah.
You may as well have a better experience all the way through.
Yeah. And it just like, I don't know, instead of the developer having to go through back channels or filters to get to like have a question answered, you're no longer playing the Chinese whispers because they've already met the person. And if there's that relationship there, they can just give them a call or like send a message and say, hey, like, I don't understand this part of whatever you're asking for. Let's talk about it. I learned that really, really early on in my career, and it really helped me. And I just like learning about different businesses and what different way things are done is pretty fun. And I think that's one of the best things about being in IT is like if you get bored, you're like, okay, well, I'm going to work in finance, or I'm going to go now I'm in agriculture. Like, I really work, like, enjoying with agriculture.
So, and your consultancy firm specializes in that type of...
Not specifically, it's just the client base that I'm working with at the moment is in that industry. So, no, it's not like initially that was like an intentional, like, focus. When I started, I was like, I want to build a product in this space. So, but I had no idea what I wanted to build. So, like, started the whole like consultancy thing and agency kind of model, and realized very quickly wasn't what I wanted. But I still wanted to be involved in ag, so I still work with the same clients.
Gotcha. Cool.
Interesting. Taking it back,
Well,
this is the thing. I'm in marketing, so I want to. I want to take it way back because I know a lot of our listeners also are like more in marketing creative space. What is software architecture? Is that what it is called?
That's a good question.
And like,
that's
what kind of projects, I guess, do you build on? Like, what do you do?
Because you don't see much on the tools these days. I guess.
No, I still code every day.
Oh, nice.
And I think it's important to code for me still. But I think It's a very good question because it's quite hard to answer, and I need to
Yeah.
get better at answering it. Because I think there's different types of architecture. You have software architecture, which is, to me, that is about your code base and how you structure the code base. It's like your filing system in a way. It's
right.
where do you put the code? How do you maintain the code? How do you index and make it readable for everyone to manage and that?
Cool.
And you're making decisions around design patterns, as in like how do you solve a problem? Like which approach do you take? Because as someone used to say to me, is there's many ways to skin a cat. Which is the best.
True. Yeah.
It's how you want to solve the problem. So that's to me that is software architecture. Solution architecture sits on top of that, where you're looking at a bigger picture. You're looking at the systems that are connecting. Like you may be talking to Xero, or you may be talking to Salesforce. Like you're starting to like you're no longer looking in your little box.
Yeah.
You're now in a bigger box. Yeah. And then from above that, you get technical and enterprise architecture, which is like an enterprise architecture. You may be working for a very large organization and you're thinking about everything.
Right.
And all the systems that they have in place and how do they play and talk together. And do you really need that product? Like this product's doing this and this is doing that. They both do the same thing. Why are we paying for it? That happens so much in
I can imagine.
large
Yeah,
companies
they just lose
because
track.
people get frustrated and they just go and solve the problem that they need to do. So,
and sometimes like people are just focused on a project, but then there's another project which is focused on the business, and that project's in that many projects that are running that business, and that business has part of a global network of stuff. So it's just what level of architecture you're looking at.
Exactly. Yeah. So for where I sit in, I think I blend between the software and the solutions, and what I try to be is more like a mediator between the business and engineers.
Right.
Because at heart, I'm an engineer, but throughout my career, I've had to work outside of that comfort zone a lot, and business requirement, like understanding, and I think sometimes I feel like I can act as a good bridge between the two.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. How do you manage that as like growth for a company? How do you pitch kind of improving someone's software solutions in making sure a company is kind of hitting growth targets?
How do I manage it myself? Or like,
or do you mean like with what you do?
Yes.
You've got people working with you at the moment?
No, not at the moment. Yeah, I did, and then I scaled it back. That's another story.
But I think, from what you do, you go into a company that has coders or whatever, and then you will assess it from an architect.
And
then assign who's best and who should be doing what, how long it should take. And so you're kind of like the spokesperson for the developers, but also for the business requirements or the project.
Yeah, so like my current client, I started with them about 2 years ago, and they have a system that was built and maintained by an agency. So someone like you guys. Yeah. This agency were not doing a great job. Not as far as I know, you guys are great. They're based in Brisbane. That's what I'll say about them. But they were overcharging. They were putting grads on their project. But charging them as like senior engineers.
You see that a lot with offshore people too.
Yeah.
They're charging the full rate.
Yeah, and just like the work that was coming out, I just overheard a conversation, and that's how I got involved in this. This wasn't like an intentional thing. It was just like I overheard someone complaining about something, and I'm like, that doesn't smell right. And I just started talking to them and said, hey, like, I'll come in and help you out. No cost, because I was still figuring out what I wanted to do at the time. And they had this agency building this product for them. Their go live was coming close, and they were starting to cut lots of stuff because they couldn't meet it.
Oh gosh.
So I came in and helped them get that over the line, and then convince them to basically bring their team in themselves and build up the development team themselves. And that's what we've been doing the last few years, is like building up their teams, so setting up all the processes, managing their own infrastructure, hosting.
I can see that like a love-hate relationship with the developers. It's definitely a love with the client, because like very likely you're going to be able to achieve more with you than without you.
Yeah.
In a role, but with the developers or the coders that are there, they're going to like you because then the client's going to see it from their point of view, and you're kind of translating that into something meaningful.
Yeah.
But at the same time, they're going to be under the pressure, and you've probably checked their code commits and a whole range of different stuff to make sure that what they're doing is actually what they need to be doing, and not cutting corners like you said too. Is that what you find that you're?
No, actually, funny enough, like I feel like I have a really good relationship with them. Like I do mentoring sessions with them as well.
Oh, good.
So like each of the developers I meet with once a month, just one-on-one, and we talk about what they've worked on, like how they're doing, and that because
That's such a good idea.
this company doesn't really have someone to do that for them. So
they're not probably willing to pay a full timer to do that either.
No.
You can come in and for a day or two a month and assess and make sure that the pipeline's healthy and everyone's happy.
and just providing like advice to their developers, and like I helped hire them, so like I have a pretty like personal relationship with all of them.
Nice.
And then like I facilitate like team mentoring as well, and then any information I learn, I just kind of like share it with them, and I'm just helping build their technology stack as they go, and match what their requirements are. Like I have to meet with their board and their CTOs to like basically sell the vision from a technical perspective. Like they know what they want to do as a business, but they don't have a technical speaker to like sell the things.
It's very cool. And how do you see that then growing, your business growing with this? You obviously need to get more people that are very similar to you.
Yep.
They're going to be high cost, I'm guessing, as well, to have business understanding, code understanding, methodology, all that stuff that you've got.
Yep.
How are you wanting to grow your business like that, or you're just saying, I just want really good clients and just for me, and I can just continue on?
Honestly, I don't know. Like some days I go one way and other days I go another way. I like have to decipher what is ego and what is like enjoyment.
That's a good point.
And and it's also like finding the right people. Like
it's crucial.
It's
What I've learned over the years, if you don't have the right people, you don't have the right business. Like it's going to be so hard every day. I used to dread opening my inbox.
Yes.
Because I'm like, because I didn't have the right people, this was years back, then, I'm going to have problems that are arising and people are going to be asking questions.
Bad hires are hard. I've definitely made like those mistakes in my career. Still make them. Made one like this year with the client, and it was hard. Like it's still emotional, even if like the person is not doing the right job. You can still it's hard as a human to
you've got a heart, you've got a soul.
Bad hires are really hard. Finding the right people is very, very challenging. So if I am like wanting to grow, it's definitely I want to hire like-minded individuals who have the same values as me.
And I think you've got to trust in that gut instinct too. You'll see someone, you're like, they're perfect for if they want to be a part of my business. You just know it rather than just going through an interview process. I found that.
Yes.
Like even Emily, sits down
naturally.
And I'm like,
it's funny that like you just know.
You do.
But then when you're like under the crunch and you just need to fill a position, that's when you make the wrong decisions.
Exactly.
It happens that way, I guess.
Should have done a couple of police checks here and there, but no. And then because you seem quite ad hoc, and you've probably got 3 or 4 clients, I'm guessing, that are making up 90% of the work that you have. How are you finding being able to charge for your time and to make sure that the value is there? Like I think we spoke about this when I met you a couple of weeks back. It's either a retainer or a time block or something, and then you've got to be able to balance that out and make sure that they're happy with getting that bill at the end of the month or every 2 weeks, whatever it is. How do you kind of put to new clients to say, here's how I do what I do?
It's challenging. Normally, like the only model that I've found that works currently is like I do it in half day or full day blocks. I don't charge by the hour, and that's mainly because coming from like that consultancy agency thing, like I got tired of having to like record and justify everything that I do. Like I found that very frustrating, and I was like, if this is the way I'm going to go, I'm not going to work that. And if clients want that, they're not the right client for me to work with, because that's not. I don't see like that's how I provide value by doing what I do.
Yeah, it's good.
And you'll see it. Like I shouldn't have to justify what I've done. You'll see the thing, and if you don't like it, well then don't pay the bill, and we'll be done.
That's right.
Like we shouldn't argue over hours
exactly.
and
You're
stuff like
providing
that.
value, and if they don't see that value, then it's not a good relationship.
Yeah. And yeah, like prepaying. I think for project-based work, it's possible, but you've got to really know exactly how long it's going to take you. And in software, that is so hard to do in greenfield projects. It's really hard. And so like, doing like fixed fee based products, you've got to like have your process down pat and know exactly what you're doing, and then it's achievable. But for currently what I'm doing, I do, just the blocks. I'm trying to come up with a model of like a prepaid like retainer, especially for the ongoing stuff where I'm like, I come in every few weeks or months and do these specific things. Here's a value-based model, not an hour-based.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Like a red carpet. Here's what you get.
Yep.
It's not based on the hour, but it's just a fee.
Yeah.
This is what you get, and if you don't like it, then...
Yep. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Makes sense. I'm curious. I did do some reading on your LinkedIn page. I'm curious. You mentioned about sustainable and ethical kind of software solutions. I'm curious what that kind of looks like in practice. Like, can software realistically actually be ethical and sustainable?
I think so. It's so for me personally, I definitely went through a bit of a crisis in my identity of what I do as an engineer. Not that I was particularly working on products that I don't agree with, but just seeing what was happening with the way social media works and the way technology has become so integrated with our lives. Like I grew up on a farm, and I didn't touch a piece of technology until a little bit as a kid, but I was more interested in being outdoors and doing those kind of things. And I grew up in a third world country as well, so internet was not really a thing, and so it was only really when we moved to Australia that I kind of got into this different bit of life. So building software, for me it was working with companies that I agree with and what are their values and what are their morals, and then building software that is basically helping us live our lives, not taking away our time. So if I'm going to build something for someone, it's not going to keep them glued to their screen. It's going to hopefully automate a process so they can go do something else. Yeah. That's the end goal, is to make our lives more efficient and just get rid of the boring stuff so we can focus on what's more important and fun in our work and lives. So that's...
I love it.
Long way of answering your question.
But I think it does. Like you said, you work in kind of agriculture clients.
Yeah,
so I think that totally informs, where you've ended up. And I think it can be a hard one, I guess, when you're choosing clients to kind of align with people you actually agree with. So that's really cool.
I saw it in a completely different way, but seeing that your whole point is to develop things to keep people off systems, I think that's all screens. I think that's so important, especially with your agriculture kind of vision or direction that you're in at the moment. If what you're doing is making our agriculture better or the produce better or whatever, that just makes a lot of sense.
So with my own client, we're working on, I'm trying to think of how much I'm allowed to say and what I'm not allowed to say. No, we're working on, so they work in the grain, particularly the grain industry, and they facilitate trading, the process transfer of grain going from a farmer to a grain trader, and a lot of grain goes to the EU, and as part of that, they have to prove, or they have to say they grew it in a particular way, sustainably, and that could mean only using certain chemicals or only burning so much diesel on the farm, and there's more and more requirements coming within the industry on that. So what we're working on is building the data capture platform for farmers to put in this data so they can get a better premium on their grain so they can sell it to the EU.
Nice.
So it's that. To me, like that's a sustainable, ethical product that we're working on. It's like helping the future. It's helping farmers. It's helping the grain traders. So it's like a nice little package.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is that something that will develop even further? Like, is this kind of at the start of its life in that kind of software?
They have some really interesting goals that they want to achieve with it. A lot of automation coming in. Like, the thing is, like the tractors that these farmers drive are already incredible machines. Like, realistically, they don't need a person in front of them. Like, they have GPSs built in. They know like the fields that they're plowing.
That's cool.
They're capturing all this data of like what fertilizer I'm spraying, like how much am I spraying, and weather records and things like that. Wow. And so much of this can feed back into the system and into the supply chain. And yeah, different industries are more evolved than others. From what I've seen with them in the cotton industry, they could actually trace a bale back to the paddock that it was grown in.
Whoa.
Where grain, it's a lot harder because once it gets to the silo, it's all chucked in different silos and it's sort of based on quality of grain. So once it goes there, your traceability is lost. But cotton, they literally each bale has a little QR code and you can
bag tag.
That's
go
wild.
all the way back. And,
Oh my goodness.
yeah, and that's mainly because of like the way the ginners work. Because cotton goes to a ginner. Ginner then takes the cotton, strips out all the stuff and like basically pulls the cotton out. And they, like the farmer pays the ginner to do that.
Right.
Yeah, so that's how they can trace it all back and then they bail it.
That's crazy.
Higher level.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there's so many
Awesome.
opportunities in agriculture. And like,
Yeah.
I guess
for
that's
sure.
like another thing is like I want other developers to get involved because there's not enough developers in it, and I think so much talent is sucked up in banking and finance
Yes.
or some other, But like in Australia, it seems to be like when I look at the job ads, there's a lot of stuff within fintech.
There might be even an opportunity. I know, like, for people that are coming in from overseas, really high talented people, they need to, as part of their visa application, to work on farms.
Yeah.
And if you had a couple of laptops set out.
Yeah, true.
I could be doing
It's
something.
an interesting way to
Yeah.
work around the system. Yeah. It might work. Yeah.
That is interesting, though. I feel like people don't know about that side of it. Like, who knew that there's all that data connected to, like, agriculture? Yeah, it's that kind of thing. Yeah, I think
there's
would be.
So much opportunity.
So just going back to when you were consulting for another company,
Yep.
what were the things that when you started this business, you were like, I'm not going to do that, and here's the things I will. What were the things that you remember?
Definitely the don't charge by hour. Do your best to not overpromise and underdeliver. Pick your clients wisely. I remember, I think Seth Godin said it something like, but you have some clients that take up 70% of your time, but only account for 30% of your revenue, and then the other, like, they take up 30% of your time, and they account for 70%. I'm butchering his quote, but basically, get rid of the ones that take up all your time and are painful, and work on the ones that you actually enjoy working.
You're not going to appreciate that till you've been through it.
Yeah.
I can hear it in your voice. You've probably been through it. You've had a nightmare client, Y of 2.
Yeah.
And I can name it, but I won't.
Yeah.
But it's a lesson that I've learned, and that's where you can, as part of the hiring process, you find the right person that you want to work with your business. It's the same with a client. You kind of know up front, you're like, this person or this company is going to be bad.
Yes.
It's going to take a lot of time and effort and stress.
Yep.
Do I really need it?
Yep.
And sometimes, if you're new, starting up as an agency or a consulting firm,
Yeah, you'll take
I'll just
whatever you
grab
can
anything.
get. Yeah.
But just put that brake on and say, no, I'm not going to be up every night of the week worrying about this.
Yep.
What's it really worth?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, cool. So anyway, get back to Sorna.
Yeah. Yes.
So what's the heat at MSAC? What have they got it set to?
It depends how many people are in there. Like, on a good day, it's at 95, so it's hot. But some days it's like 80, 85.
It's not bad.
It's not
That's
bad.
what Winter does too.
Okay, yeah. 90, I can't go above 95. 95, like 15 to 20 is like
panting,
the struggle.
dizzy. Yeah.
But like 80, like 20 is not a big deal. It's funny there because like the thermostat is at the door, and people like just come in and pour water on it without like asking anyone else in the room. And there's only a few people do it, and you know. So if they in the sauna, you know it's going to be hot.
We had that overseas. I was in Bali, and where they had saunas where we were. And this, he must have been Dutch or something. He walks in and he's like, "This isn't hot." That sounds Russian, but this isn't hot.
Yes.
And we're like, "Yeah, put ice. Pour whatever you want on it." And he went out and he got a whole bunch of ice and put it on.
Oh my god!
And it was
yeah.
We're like, holy, it got hot as. I reckon it was probably close to 100.
Yeah.
And every 2 days or 2 nights a week, do the sauna at about 90.
Yep.
20 minutes.
Yep.
Jump in the pool.
Yep.
Back and do another 15 minutes.
Yeah,
that's enough.
Yeah, yeah. They do have a cold plunge at MSAC, but it's like at the other side of. I don't know if you've been there. It's like it's really big, and like by the time I've done my sauna, like it's a long walk,
Gotcha.
and I get lazy. Yeah, but some people they'll do the laps. They'll like sauna plunge.
Yeah.
If the plunge was right there, I would do it. I just hop in the pool, like you do.
Why not?
But their pools are heated, so it's not like cold.
Yeah, you get a bit sweaty in the pool.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah.
But yeah, ideally one day I'll can convince the Commons to.
But do you know? I don't know if you know, but Central House here, there's a storeroom near where the change rooms are here.
Yeah.
That was meant to be a sauna.
Oh, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
When they
funny.
first started, and probably like you were saying before, they were trying to get this place ready. They had to cut a couple of things out of it.
Yeah.
The sauna was one of them.
Yeah.
So.
Well, is there a sauna in the new Collins Street
There's
one?
one at Forum. But it's only like a
Okay.
3-man sauna, 3-person sauna.
Yeah.
But I don't think at Collins Street there is one.
It's funny, like when you talk about cutting and building. I don't know how when you're talking with clients, but I think analogies are so good. And one of my analogy that I've been working with and playing with, and I think is a fun way to describe how a software project can go is like pretend you're building a house.
Yeah.
Because when you're building a house, there's so much, like you get an architect, comes in, they plan it out, they design it, they figure out where your lights are going to go, they figure out where the wiring's going to go, they're like, okay, you're going to need these materials and that. And then you get all your builders and that come in, and you have to get plumbers to do specific things and that, and then it may rain. Your site's shut down for 2 weeks, whatever. It's very much like building software, like
Or if the homeowner comes back and says, "Oh, I need an extra."
I need to change this. You're like, oh. Or you start digging a hole and you realize like you've got a really massive problem with earthworks to do, or like renovating a house can be a good analogy for like when you're working on a brownfield project and you're having to refactor it, or you're working with some really old legacy code and you pull out and suddenly there's asbestos, like, this is not legal.
Tell me,
That's such a good
you
analogy.
mentioned greenfield and brownfield.
Yeah.
For me, I'm not quite sure what they are. Can you
Okay.
just mention what the difference
So
between
greenfield's a new project from scratch. Brownfield is something that is existing.
Okay.
Yeah.
There
I
you
don't
go.
know if it's
Fancy.
A used
Consulting
term or whatever, but that's how we've been talking about different, because some of the clients, they've got old systems, they've got new systems, and
Yep.
sometimes it's hard to like differentiate, and you just say greenfield, brownfield, like
Greenfield podcast? We're number 10.
greenfield project.
Yeah.
Still, because I guess green is
like
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
it is.
Brown is
Brown
old.
is
Yeah.
crust.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, true.
Yeah. That's
Okay.
been great. Let's
Well,
get into the
speed round?
if you want.
Okay. This is the big moment.
You probably heard the speed round.
I did. Yeah.
Oh,
did hear
okay.
a
So you're
few.
ready. Nice.
I remember some of them.
yeah, preparation. Okay. Creative or code?
Code.
Favorite design tool? Or development tool, yeah.
This one's hard because I use so many. I've been playing around with Mermaid.js a lot.
Mermaid.js.
Yeah, so I think like diagrams are such a good way to explain concepts, and with Mermaid.js you can do diagrams with code. So you write code to draw the diagram.
That's cool.
And I find that easier than drawing a diagram. I'm not
So
a visual
funny.
person.
Yeah.
Just quickly,
Wow.
use Chat GPT or some AI in your code work. Maybe
Yeah, I use Copilot all the time.
Nice.
Play around with ChatGPT, like building little AI assistants and that. But mainly like using Copilot a lot. Yeah, it's really great for that.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, we were talking about that earlier, about how it's now getting to be an emotional Oh, there's a new version coming out soon.
Yeah, it's going to be like more supportive to
Oh,
you
really?
or something like that.
Well, I don't know if you've played around with like the voice features on the app. So you can pick the voice, and in the voice they have different personalities.
Yeah.
So you and based on the personality, its response will change. Like
Oh,
you can have a
okay, right.
supportive personality or a stern personality or that, and each voice has different personalities.
Interesting. There we go. What are we up to? Favorite website?
I don't really have a favorite website.
Not your own?
No. My own needs attention. His needs some rework.
Do you refer like Stack Overflow or probably that's a bit old?
Not as much. But with ChatGPT, I very rarely go to like a Stack Overflow. I do spend a lot of time on YouTube. I love I'm a visual learner, and a lot of my stuff is self-taught. And I love YouTube for like watching. I don't know, some guy in Alaska
Tutorials.
build something in the woods. It's great.
I love that.
Yeah.
How many hours per week do you work?
I try keep it to 40. Like, no more than 40.
What's the first app you open every day?
Inside Timer.
What's Inside Timer?
Inside. It's a meditation app.
Oh, nice. Lovely.
And does that just check how you've slept and things like that?
No, it's literally a timer. So the whole app, there's like courses and different meditations that you can do on it. But I particularly just use it for its timer because it has a nice bell to remind you
I love that.
you're not falling asleep. And then if I want, like I can search for like a guided meditation.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's my first
Cool.
one.
Coffee or tea?
Coffee, but I've been trying matcha. And matcha's pretty good.
Nice. I'm not a much fan. It's a bit too grassy
I love it.
for me, yeah?
The umami.
Very nice. Dark mode or light mode?
Dark mode inside, light mode outside.
So you sometimes do you work outside?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, I love
Nice.
sitting on the balcony in the sun.
Good day for it today.
Yeah. But dark mode, you can't see shit.
That's very true.
I love when your brothers go out at South Melbourne Commons and you're like, yes, and go out
Yes.
there and just code away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mac or PC?
Mac.
Work from home or work from office?
Office.
Cats or dogs?
Dogs.
Favorite font?
Open dyslexic. I'm dyslexic, and there's a font created specifically for people with dyslexia.
Wow, that's cool.
I don't know if it helps. I think it helps, but open dyslexic.
What's the kind of shaping of it? Like, how does it
It's
differ?
like narrow at the top and a bit heavy on the bottom.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah.
Very nice.
And do you find you
That's a
can
good
read
idea.
that better or it's easier to consume? Or?
I think so. But how much is mental and how
well,
much
that's
is
the thing.
actually helping?
Yeah, there we go.
But you can enable it on your Kindle.
Oh, cool.
And
Nice.
it's a bit of a pain in the ass to get working on a Mac. But your Kindle is like actually a font that's part of the Kindle.
Nice.
And it's called
Open Dyslexic.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's like an open source font for people with dyslexia. Yeah.
Very nice. Design or spec?
I don't know. Well, by spec, what do you mean? Like specification?
design creative, spec, you more documentation writing.
Oh, design.
What's your favorite snack while working?
Ooh. That changes. This week it was hummus.
Oh, I love hummus.
nice.
I love biscuits.
Yeah.
I've heard Savoy biscuits.
Yeah.
Each one of those is 20 calories.
That's a lot
Yeah.
per biscuit.
Yeah, I used to have a packet.
Oh my god.
Because by the time you've had hummus and then
That's the thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Popcorn,
Oh, it is, yeah.
Yeah.
Pineapple on pizza.
Yes. It's a
Nice. Summer or winter?
shoulder seasons. Break the question.
What was that?
Shoulder seasons.
Shoulder seasons? What's
Like
that?
now.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Like
Yeah,
you're
spring,
I agree.
autumn. Yeah.
Very
It's
nice.
not too hot, it's not too cold. Still cold at night, but you get a beautiful sunny day.
Perfect
up.
answer.
That was
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah.
City or country?
Country.
Final question. Time travel into the past or into the future?
I did think about this a lot. I think it would have to be the past because the past is really interesting, but the future is also really interesting.
It's
as
true.
well. But
Where
I
would
know
you go in the past? What year or time
I'd
period?
love to go to like pre-humans.
Oh, wow.
That would be
Dinosaurs.
cool. Yeah.
Like I like just because I've read a lot of I lived in Colorado for a bit, and I read a lot about like how wild America was, and then when fur hunting became a thing, a lot of the bison and that got wiped out. And I've just like the way people describe the plain lands there. It reminds me of Africa and like what I grew up and seeing. And I just would be fascinated to see the American fauna in that because the American fauna is fascinating. Like it's so cool. Like elk are amazing and moose are huge. And
I think having the knowledge too of where the world has got, and then you go back. I probably only want to be there for half an hour just to check it.
Yeah,
You'd be like, oh, okay, this is not safe. Yeah.
You know, you're going to have to have a tent or something.
Yeah, this is not to live in. This is more as
Just
an
a quick
observer.
trip. Yeah.
You're like, oh, cool.
To live in, like, we live in a pretty amazing time.
It's true. Yeah. Well, that's a very well thought out answer. I like it. Well, that's it. Speed round over. Thank you.
And just in terms of your business, let's just talk about the business name and what you do just a little bit. And if anyone's listening and has a business where they do need that kind of help assistance. And tell us what the business is.
So the company is called Twana. Twana. There's no right or wrong way to pronounce it. It's an African word. It's a rock. Well, we call it a copy on our farm. So it's just to remind me of my values.
Nice.
So we do tech advisory. So like if you have a development team and you want them to operate a bit more efficiently, or you're struggling with a certain pain point with a technology, we can come in and help you do that. Or you're starting a new project and you just don't know how to figure out how to scope it out or exactly what you want. That's a wheelhouse. Yeah.
I think we could even use you on a number of things there. Just being able to get the team aligned on a certain project, or if there's gaps that we haven't seen. That, So I'm sure we'll be knocking on your door too.
Yeah,
if it's
sounds
not
great.
for a month, but it might be a couple of days. And just see what works. So cool.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
Very insightful.
Really enjoyed talking to you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to the Creative and Code podcast.
That's all, folks.
We hope you enjoyed this episode and found it as inspiring and entertaining as we did. Remember, there are plenty more episodes to explore, so make sure you keep listening for more creative insights and coding tips. A big shout out to our amazing sponsors and the team at ID Digital Agency for making this podcast possible. Got a story to share or want to be a guest on our show? We'd love to hear from you. Send us a 2-minute or less audio clip to creativeandcode@iddigital.com.au. Suggestions, ideas, or just want to say hi, we're all ears. Thanks again for listening. Until next time, stay creative and keep coding.